Hello everyone, Mimikins here. I was lucky enough to get an invite for the Back 4 Blood alpha test in December, which ran for a few days. As a Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 player, which is also made by many of the same developers, I was fully riding the hype train from when I first heard about this game's existence. Players have been asking for a Left 4 Dead 3 for a long time, but Steam ignored our calls. I'm sure all you Half-Life fans out there can relate, although we did see Alyx launch in 2020. I can't help but speak about the similarities it shares with the Left 4 Dead franchise, and that's not a bad thing. We are in a zombie-like apocalypse setting again. The zombies are known as the Ridden, and are meant to be parasite-infected humans rather than undead. The Ridden come in various forms. Common infected, not dangerous in low numbers but can easily overwhelm your group if you don't have the firepower to deal with them, or someone in your group keeps alerting the horde. That in itself is another returning feature from Left 4 Dead, where car alarms, or in this case birds, will send a sea of infected your way. Stingers. These nimble wall climbing special infected are fast, and have the ability to throw some sticky goo at you, which will require the help of teammates to free you. They remind me of the hunters that could pin a single player down and required the help of someone else to knock them off or kill them in order to save the pinned player. These guys are reason enough not to stray off alone. Wretches. A large special infected that once in range will spew vomit all over you and your teammates, which alerts a horde. Similar to Left 4 Dead's boomers. Easily disposed of, but if you get hit with that vomit, then it's valuable health, time and ammo you're going to end up wasting. Tall boy, he's tall and obviously right-handed. Likes to smash things with said hand. Reminds me of the Charger in Left 4 Dead. Although I haven't been pinned by him during my playthrough like Chargers could, I did take a few slaps. Keep at range and shoot the bright red weak spot near his shoulder to take this one down fast. The Ogre, this thing is terrifying. It's like a boss of sorts that hunts you through the levels at random points and has a lot of health. My groups weren't up to trying to kill it, so that's something I've yet to try, but he can grab you dealing a lot of damage, then proceeds to throw you if you survive his crushing grip. Closest resemblance to Left 4 Dead would be the tank, which was considerably smaller than this guy but just as scary in my opinion, since the tank was faster and could chase down a survivor pretty quick. The Ogre can throw a big glob of flesh at you, similar to the tank's ability to throw rocks. Also, did I mention how awesome this guy looks? He is literally made up of hordes of the infected. So you've heard me harp on about the similarities this game has with Left 4 Dead, but what about the differences apart from the massive graphical improvements due to it being over a decade younger than the original Left 4 Dead? The card system is the biggest addition here. Before you start any game you will have the ability to build a deck of cards, or you can run with the default one they give you to learn the ropes. These cards are randomly played into your hand at the start of each round or act. You get to pick one card that is 100% going to be there from the start, and I highly suggest you choose a gun, otherwise you will be swinging a lackluster weapon. The card system contributes heavily to the game's replayability. Apart from the special infected being able to show up at random points in the map, which makes it harder to counter them, the card system is also played for the infected as well. Players can pick cards from the random hand they are given. Only cards from your deck show up in your hand to play at the start of each act, so you do have some level of control. You don't get control over what cards are played from the infected, as this is what the developers liken to a roguelite system, adding in further random chaos. At the start of each act you will get a chance to spend some of the points you earned inside an item cache. Here you can upgrade your guns with scopes or buy extra healing items for you and your teammates. The currency you earn in a playthrough carries over in each act. So if you don't want to spend anything on the first or second act in order to save up for a more expensive item for the finale, then that's a viable tactic. Think that one through carefully, as your team has a limited number of tries if everyone wipes. Good communication in harder settings will be the key to success. The guns handle nicely, look fantastic in terms of details, and really feels impactful to fire. The animations are already looking good and I'm sure they will continue to polish them. The melee attacks however don't carry the same weight that I was used to in the Left 4 Dead or the Vermintide games. Whenever I'm in melee range of 10 or more infected, I'm afraid for my life. Perhaps this is something they will look into, but I didn't feel rewarded for using melee weapons other than when I'm out of ammo. Ammo was another sticking point for me. Unlike the aforementioned games which had generic ammo piles that anyone who needed could pick them up, we have specific ammo here to each gun type. Now that's not a problem in itself, except for the fact I struggled sometimes to get ammo I needed for my AK, as others using completely different weapons would pick them up, even though theirs required a different caliber of bullet. The game can get pretty frantic, and both myself and teammates didn't have time to check who was picking up what ammo. Perhaps a suggestion could be only the ammo you can use is highlighted if they don't want to go down the generic ammo piles. Some of the animations are clearly not finished, and that's understandable being an alpha, such as when I was hit with the sticky goo of a stinger. My character would stand there as if frozen from a game crash or disconnect. I expect to see my character writhing around trying to free itself until a teammate comes along and cuts me free. The game is decently challenging even at the default setting, at least when playing with randoms who like to steal my ammo. A pre-made group of friends will undoubtedly be able to tackle harder settings due to better synergy. As I mentioned earlier, the entire group shares a certain number of retries if everyone wipes, but individually each player has what is known as strikes. You can see these strikes next to the character's pictures near the health bar, depicted by a small white double score. When you go down into a dying state, you lose one of these strikes, and when all strikes are consumed, the next dying state will instantly kill you. After that, it's up to your teammates to rescue you further in the act from a randomly chosen location, or they must get to the safe room which ends the act. You will then spawn in at the start of the following act. Again, this will be familiar to Left 4 Dead players. These strikes also reset each time you complete an act, so there is some breathing room there for those who are concerned it might be too hard. During this alpha access we could choose from 4 cleaners. I wanted to play Holly because reasons, but someone had taken her before I loaded into the room. There will be more cleaners to play when the game officially launches, and each character has some strengths and weaknesses. So I suggest making different card decks just in case you can't get the one you want if playing online. You can play this game solo with bots if you don't want to join others. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my playthrough, and never once did I come across a major game-breaking bug during my few days of hopping on this. This is very polished for an alpha, and I can't wait to get back into it. Turtle Rock Studios will most likely have further tests before the planned summer launch this year. So if you can get a chance to apply for it, then go to their website and sign up. I might see you there. If you've never played a game like this before, and by that I mean a team-based multiplayer versus hordes of monsters and bosses, then I highly recommend you check out Left 4 Dead 2 and Vermintide 2 if you want to warm up before Back 4 Blood launches. Another hardcore co-op game I've enjoyed is Remnant from the Ashes, but that's played from a third-person perspective like Gears of War, but still a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, please support the channel by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.